Good morning. I'm a little bit squinty because I've made the mistake of pointing into the sun. Yeah, I can't do this. Staring into the sun like this. Hang on, let me work this out. I'm hoping that's a bit better. I'm also hoping I might have been able to get rid of some of the wind noise, but we'll see. Right, let's try this one. Have we found a shot yet? Right, good. Let's try that again. Welcome to Portland. It's a beautiful morning. I got up very early again to get another sunrise. Went to Church Oak Cove, which was just stunning. I took a campervan to a spot that I suspect not 100% meant to stay overnight, but there were lots of other people there, so it was fine. Yeah, got up this morning. Didn't really want to get up. It was one of these things where I'd set the alarm and I'd lost my enthusiasm for getting up. Last night, really keen. This morning, just very cozy in bed, warm and toasty and all that sort of stuff, and just didn't really want to get up. But eventually convinced myself to get up and it was fine. Gonna wait for the wind to die down. Yeah, walked down to the beach. It was a gorgeous walk just along the coast. And then took sunrise and was joined for sunrise by a very nice man called Doug. So if you're watching this, hi Doug. He goes and swims at Church Oak Cove every morning, which sounds pretty blissful, to be honest. Also shows the benefit of talking to a local in terms of finding out good knowledge about where you want to go. So he's given me a couple of really good spots on the island to go and take pictures. So that's the main reason that I'm down here. I wanted to come and take some pictures, a day off. So I came down last night. It's been good so far. Got some really nice low light pictures last night down at Portland Bill. Gonna stay after dark tonight. I think I might stay tonight as well. For how good the sunrise was, I might stay and get the sunrise tomorrow morning as well. But yeah, I'm a little bit flagging. I haven't had breakfast yet. I have had a couple of bites of chocolate. And do you know what? I might wrap this intro up and not do the full-on explanation of exactly what I'm doing right now. Because, yeah, I got up for breakfast, met Doug, and then he said, oh, go for a walk. Why are you here? Go for a walk that way before you head back to the van. And I'm really glad I have. Some really interesting military installations over this part of the island. Like this. I don't know if that's in shot. I can't remember if I set the shot up to have that in shot. This is an old rifle range. And yeah, so I'm going to head back now and go and get some food. And hopefully, the next time I see you, I'll be a little bit more fueled up. So it turns out Hungry Ben doesn't do so well when the camera's pointed straight at him. So maybe Rambling Ben will be slightly better. I got myself a new toy. It's a cheap and cheerful toy, but I'm hoping it'll improve the video slightly. got a little windsock for my GoPro. So what I realised after I did the MAM tour, well, all the stuff in the Peak District, whenever I'm doing the walking, talking stuff on the GoPro, the wind noise is horrendous. So I'm hoping this should make a bit of a difference. If I'm including this bit in the video, it has made a difference. If I'm not including it, well, it's pointless telling you about it. So I'm heading back to the van now for breakfast, which should hopefully perk me up a little bit. But yeah, it's a fascinating place, this. Emma finds the whole island just a little bit creepy. And I sort of get it, but I find it fascinating. It reminds me a little bit of Dungeness, where it's quite isolated. There are bits of it that feel almost untouched. And then you walk around the corner and all of a sudden you'll find an old rifle range or lookout posts or various things. So the island, as far as I can work out, I need to get a book and do some proper research on it. Essentially, the island has served two main purposes. One is for the mining of Portland stone, and then the other is as a military installation because it's a very useful port. And so there have been barracks and various things here over the years. The other thing that's famous for is Chesil Beach, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, it's been good. Got up early this morning, like I said. Really didn't want to get out of bed. Yeah, I'm glad I did. Sunrise was beautiful. And I'm now heading back to the van. I can always tell when I'm quite tired and hungry because I start repeating myself. So let's just get back to the van, get some food. So just before I get back to the van, a little bit about Sunrise. Planning in advance 101. I've got two brilliant apps, both by the same people, the Photographer's Ephemeris and Photographer's Ephemeris 3D. It kind of helped me plan where I wanted to be for sunrise this morning. And I'd been there a long while back. Like, I'll check, but I think it was 2011. So I know I've been there and I knew roughly what the layout was, but with a combination of getting up later than I meant to, so I didn't leave the van until about a quarter of an hour after I'd initially intended to. So I got there slightly late. Got there about 20 minutes before sunrise, so I had enough time to set up, but it's a very beautiful beach, very beautiful cove. Trying to find a good composition was just that little bit tricky when you're rushing around with the deadline of sunrise beating down on you. In a perfect world, what I would have done is gone there last night, puddle, and another puddle, and a big puddle. Would have gone there yesterday during the day. Probably couldn't have done it last night too easily. Would have gone there yesterday during the day and planned out a composition so that then when I got there today, I could have just lined everything up and taken the picture. But that's what I should have done. That's not often what I do, because I quite enjoy the fun of actually trying to find a composition with a bit of pressure on it. But that's not what you should do. It's just what I do. But yeah, got some nice long exposure shots. And there were some lovely oyster catchers, which I can hear again now, keeping me company this morning. Very quickly, having had quite a clear sky for sunrise, it clouded over. And I don't know whether it would have been better to have actually a bit more cloud at sunrise to get a little bit more colour. It's turned into a rather nice day now. Oh, this is bliss. Day with the camera. Enough waffle. Let's get breakfast. Having said it 4 times, I do have about a half an hour walk back to the van now. So it seems Portland is a fairly small world. Just bumped into Dave, who's another photographer we were comparing notes, who also knows Doug. So that was nice. I do like the community of photographers. They are, so long as they're not fighting for a position for the best spot for sunrise, they're a very friendly bunch. And to be honest, I don't think I really like the ones that fight for position of sunrise anyway. Everyone else seems good. Yeah, so the cove that I was at, Church Oak Cove, has beach huts. I say beach huts, they're essentially glorified sheds, but they've all carved out their own little beach garden with pebble walls. So they've got their own little private space, which I've not seen before. It's nice. Right, back to the van. Edgar Wright style breakfast shot. Helps if you unlock it.
Do you reckon you can turn the engine off when you're sat right there? And just as a maybe.
Right, so I've had my lunch. Oh, I feel a bit more human now. I also had just a bit of a rest. I love this van. Put the heating on. I would say chilled out, but it was nice and warm. It's a cold day today. It is cold and it is windy, but it's lovely. The light is incredibly crisp. So I've had my lunch. I'm now at Portland Bill Lighthouse. And I'm going to walk up the west coast of Portland and go and see what I can see. Been told there's a really nice spot to be able to get a really nice picture of the whole edge of Chesil Beach, so I'm going to go and see Chesil Beach as well. So Chesil Beach is a 17-mile long shingle beach. Don't know if it is. It's got to be one of the longest beaches in the UK, but it's gorgeous. Big fat pebbles at this end and then through to little shingle at the other. So I'm going to go and see that. And I think I've timed it well that basically I can walk there, take some pictures, walk back, and then I should be back at Portland Bill for sunset. So that's the plan at the moment. So let's go do that. This coast is on a lot of chalk. And wet chalk equals slippery. I slipped a lot. So that looks like a nice grassy path. It's a little bit treacherous. Little bit sketchy, don't like heights. These wrist warmers, I am aware, is not the most manly thing in the world. And just look how pretty they are. I got them probably 2-3 years ago. My wife, Emma, who was then my girlfriend, she's always worn them. She gets cold and sore wrists. So she's had them forever, and I used to nab them because being 6'5", finding tops and coats with long enough sleeves can be something of a challenge. Even this, you can see it just wants to ride up, and so I spend forever tugging down the wrists again. So these are really useful. They just give me a slightly longer sleeve, and you can actually quite effectively pull them up over your hands and keep your hands quite warm as well. So they tend to be, they've gone everywhere with me. They've gone up snowy mountains, they've gone long walks. Sort of, they're normally on their own, they're really good around about this time of year if it wasn't quite so windy, but with the wind the gloves help. But yeah, I got them at Winchester Christmas Market. So if you ever find you get cold wrists, get yourself a set of wrist warmers. Right, rambling again now. We're just on our way back to the van. We had a slight change of plan because I got distracted by a kestrel. I think it was a kestrel. I've never seen one that close where you can really, and yeah, close and peaceful. I just spent a long time hunting where I was walking, so I spent probably 20 minutes taking pictures of it, which was wonderful. This is why days with no particular plan can be a very nice thing. So, walking back to the car, we didn't get to Chesil Beach, but we saw it. And I'm going to do Chesil Beach tomorrow morning after I've done the sunrise. So I'll drive that way because it's on my way off the island anyway. I know it didn't look steep in the video, but I'm tired and it was steeper than it looked. Went to a nice quarry, now we're going back so that we can work out what shot we want for sunset. Got a couple of ideas in mind, but that app that I talked about earlier, I might just talk through that slightly more.